All right, today I'm talking about how you can stop feeling guilty after making a mistake. Instead of getting trapped in this beating up cycle for every little mistake you make, every little bite of food or whatever you overeat, that tape, that negative tape, can just ruin your freaking life because it's playing 24/7. And here's how to get out of it using compassion. I will say that right now, this is a rant video because I made a little mistake with a client this morning and I am feeling triggered into shame. And I wanted to just share with you my process. So, the insight, the thing that has shifted me, one of the things that comes up, I have struggled with shame for years. Years. If you don't understand shame, it's like imagine like you forget to tie your shoe. And so you go out the door, you go to work, and then later on you trip because you didn't tie on your shoe. Now the normal person just goes, oh, duh, I didn't tie my shoe, and they leave it at that. Someone who's ashamed, who has a default of shame, they walk around the rest of the day thinking, oh my God, you're an idiot. Or they look down again at, is your shoe gonna fall off again? And they feel terrible inside, like just crushed. And it might sound silly if you don't have a shame problem, but trust me, a lot of people do, and it's freaking real, and it's hard, difficult to escape that cycle. And I've gotten so much better, so much better. Before, I'd be trapped, socially isolated because I'd be beating myself up so much I wouldn't even go outside. And now here I am right now, freaking talking to you. If you're watching this YouTube video, I'm looking at you in the eye. If you're listening to the podcast, you can hear that my genuineness, I'm being fucking real about this shit, is there. So what happened? What was the shift? Today I'm going to be talking about compassion. Now, if you're liking this so far, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, leave a review. I love, giving that support really helps me, gives me energy to share the message even more. Compassion. Let's dive into that real quick. Compassion is coming from your heart. Learning how to come from your heart. Realizing you can learn how to come from your heart. And realizing that when you don't come from your heart, when you're beating yourself up, that's not actually helping you. And it's tough. And it's okay for it to be tough. The first thing we have to realize when we talk about compassion is that other people have exactly many millions, if not billions, of other human beings on this very planet are going through exactly the same thing you are. Exactly the same thing you are. They are hurting. Maybe even worse than you. Not to diminish your pain, but there are other people in very similar circumstances as you. They're hurting too. So your voice, when you start beating yourself up, that voice is from your ego point of view, which only looks at you. When you enlighten your perspective, when you shift and see that other people are suffering too, exactly the same, you say, wait a minute, if other people are suffering too, maybe this is tough shit. Maybe I don't need to beat myself up because this really is a genuine struggle. Oftentimes when you're beating yourself up, at least when I'm beating myself up, the beating up voice says you're not good enough. You didn't do well enough. You're not good. And it's like, it's holding me to such a high standard, right? If I don't reach that standard, boom, the voice comes. And oftentimes I live in fear because I'm afraid of that voice that comes when I don't live up to my high standards. But when you see other people like you, people in your life situation, there are other people like you who are struggling. That inner voice starts to quiet. The inner voice starts to say, oh man, yeah, there are other people in this world that are suffering, and they're basically the same people as I am. they're suffering too. Maybe whatever I'm going through is tough. Maybe this food thing is tough. Maybe I'm expected to struggle. Maybe it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me if I'm struggling. That's the fundamental shift. Realizing your common humanity, or as Dr. Kristen Neff likes to say, practicing mindful self-compassion. So after you shift and realize, you kind of lower your expectation and realize that it's okay to suffer, you then open yourself up to healing. And healing is perhaps a deeper conversation than this quick podcast episode that I'm doing right now. But the essence of healing is learning, actually, and listening. When you open up and lower your expectations and allow your heart to open to your struggles, you can first listen to the pain. It means where you tap into the pain, and it's okay for you to feel hurt. It's okay, like, for you to feel hurt. You might have pain in your heart, and that's okay. Even though it hurts, it's okay for it to be there. It is okay for that to be in your consciousness. It's okay for that to be in your life. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. You don't need to push that away. You don't need to ignore it. That shameful voice, why you avoid looking at your own failures, that shameful voice is not justified, because your failures are tough things that you're going through. Doesn't mean you failed. The fact that you're beating yourself up about it is actually proof that you care about it. You're going through something that you are struggling with and that you care deeply about. And you're upset that you're not doing as well as you want to do. Instead of beating yourself up for that, realize that millions of other people like you want that for themselves too. They're not getting it, and they're hurting, just like you. This is tough shit, and it's not just you. That's the listening part. The healing part, or the learning part, is like identifying your triggers. Like for me with this client, I am sleep deprived as shit right now. I had the worst night of sleep. Not the worst, but it was, I had volunteered at TEDx all of Sunday, and today's a Tuesday. So I didn't get that much sleep all day Sunday. And on Monday, I go to bed early. I'm exhausted. And I'm planning, I carved out a closed evening. Like, I really was practicing self-care, took a shower, not that I don't take a shower, what is it called? Like, took a shower and just really took a shower early on in the evening so my body was relaxed. I turned down the lights, I was relaxed, and I went to bed at 9:30, and so I was gonna get 9 hours of sleep. And I freaking wake up after 3 hours of sleep, and I'm wide awake. And I can't get back to bed. I just slept totally refreshed. So I stay up another 4 hours. And then I get some more sleep, another 3 hours. But I just feel like crap, And so I know I'm learning, right? This is where you reflect. What factors and conditions in my day, in my life, whatever. That's a whole different conversation about all the aspects that you can reflect. But if you just keep it for today, the last 24 hours, you might find a trigger. For me, it was a lack of sleep. The condition of lack of sleep plus a difficult conversation, I'm hit with shame. And here's my process of working with it. And lastly, final thing, the reason I'm on this camera thing is because this is my way of reaching out, or at least my way of opening up. And that's kind of the third step that's scary, but you ultimately do need to do, is you need to open up yourself to the right person. This is from Brené Brown's book, Opening Up to the Right Person. It's probably the number one strategy to overcome guilt when you make mistakes, is you find the right person, someone who doesn't belittle you, ignore you, tease you, shame you for feeling bad, someone who listens, but someone who isn't overwhelmed by your listening. you want to find that right person. You want to open up and see what they have to say, and don't hide the pain. That's been a struggle for me too. And it still is a struggle. And here I am kind of opening up. So you got to do it. Yeah. So with that being said, you can go talk with me actually if you just want to like have someone to talk to. I do this like complimentary talk session where afterwards, if you want to get invited to like a dinner thing, I know you, so I can invite you to have dinner with my friends. We do like mindful eating events, and it's pretty fun. People there have rejected the diet mentality, and we're working on healing with food. So that's at weightlossenlightenment.com/free strategy session. It's a little strategy session where we talk to you, where I talk with you about, well, I rather just listen actually. I don't really talk with you. I listen. I listen. And we see what comes up. So I'm there when you're ready, when you want to open up, when you want to try this. And with that being said, let's just recap real quick. We got the Shift Your Mindset by Realizing You're Not Alone. We got Listen to Pain. We got Learn, and we got that complimentary session, complimentary call, weightlossenlightenment.com/free strategy session. All right. Have a good one. Peace.